Okay, so yeah, a couple little technical difficulties there. Just giving you this is basically just a bit of a tester to sort of see how the sort of streaming goes, opposed to sort of recording these things each morning and then sort of uploading, so I can have stuff done in a little bit more sort of real time in that. So look, again, this is just a quick test one, so I just only go for a couple of minutes, so I can sort of see how the whole sort of process works a bit. But might as well sort of go into it while we are, because we're looking at Aussie is pushing up against its highs a little bit here. We've got China data coming out in a few minutes, so let's just drag this one up over here. Actually, no. So where were we? Bang. So yeah, we've got China. Oh, it's just come out actually. Yeah, so it shows while I'm sort of stuffing around with this sort of stuff here. So we've got, okay, well, it's sort of come in 0.3%. So technically that's a tick up. So, yeah, sort of see if we've got much of a reaction in the markets from this. So firstly, jump across to Aussie sort of, because obviously that's going to sort of work sort of via um, proxy with how sort of China will work. So we are seeing it sort of push towards its top sides here. Look, a break back above that 67 handle, I think will be quite interesting because, as I sort of mentioned on this daily video, that up around the weekly open, so 67.17 on this one, I had 67.24 on another one. I guess it just comes down to sort of what feed you're using for your data as to sort of where they opened it for the week. But certainly the big one above 67.30 is where we want to sort of see a break to sort of get basically a bit of a breakout that's going to give us through this sort of falling resistance here. We can pretty much sort of delete this bad boy now because he got sort of chopped up and that sort of into that last bit of news. But yeah, certainly if we can get above that 67.30, I think this is going to be a thing because this is where we've opened for the week. We've knocked above it. We've knocked above it. We've knocked above it. Anybody that's wanted to sell it, they've had the chance to push it down time and time again. Even after that CPI print from US last night, we saw that sort of really take a beating with the Aussie down into what we've got marked out here, daily supports as well. This big dotted line coming through here, if I sort of zoom out real quickly, this is your weekly uh, falling resistance. So we have to sort of respect the fact that this is something that it's been sort of running from sort of start of 22. So this is like a yearly sort of push down here. We've broken through. This is on a weekly double retest of the backside here. Again, if we flip this weekly candle, and we sort of start to move up here, there's a good chance we get a bit of a flow on, and body fill is the first sort of target over that, so 68.10. So above 67.30, I'd really be sort of thinking that we're sort of looking for something up around that sort of 68 handle, basically. So a good 60, 70 points up. You do have to take into account we're a little bit overbought on the weekly, but it really sort of comes down to sort of what the market wants to do with the US dollar and that. So if we flip across to DXY and we jump down onto the lower, well, it's lower-ish sort of time frames here, that is a big rejection. Like, you know what I mean? It tried, and if you get even lower on these ones here, you can see it tried and it tried again. That time it failed, boom, 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 and it's dribbling across the bottom here. So despite it sort of being on a bit sort of overbought, you can see that it can get down a little bit lower than this in this oversold area. So yeah, oversold, not overbought. This could be a little bit of a dribble down, and then just a sort of bit of a waterfall down through this area here. This is going to give Aussie a bit of a push up to the top side. It's going to get gold moving again. I think that you have to respect the fact that if they wanted to run US dollar here, they would have run it. But obviously they've sort of decided that that's not what they wanted to do. I mean, yeah, had the hot CPI print, but again, I heard this good conversation last night, and basically the comment was that although maybe sort of the hot CPI might be sort of pushing back the rate cut sort of decision, raising rates is off the table. That's not even part of the discussion anymore. So it's all very well that you might be delaying sort of the rate cuts, but are you really just then delaying the inevitable? And if you're doing that, the market's going, well, I don't want to be holding US dollar while other potential currencies are sort of like looking to sort of raise their rates, or maybe not cut as quickly as US dollar. So I think the Fed's at the forefront of who's going to be cutting. And as we say this, we're saying Aussie is coming back up above sort of 67 handle here. Of course, you know, these things can just go and then fall back over again. And we saw a lot of chop around this range. I mean, this whole week, really, 50 points down to 30-point swings. Obviously, this last move down here, but this is looking like it could be a little bit trappy. I think there's a lot of the market that was sort of thinking that, hold on, wait, you know, we're just going to be, oh, there we go, we got DXY taking out its lows and through this little support area here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of a continuation to the downside through here. And certainly Aussie will test, give it at least a test for its breakout. Flip across to gold quickly. Right, so gold, again, it held up very well sort of through that period, but obviously sort of dropped down after, and then sort of like everything, its recovery was quite strong. But no, the 2040 has been the area that's really been an issue sort of throughout this week. If you get a break above there, it'll be looking good. But again, you've still got these other sort of areas to deal with. I'd like to see it close 4 hours or above on above sort of 2050 to sort of really think, okay, we've got something going on here. But yeah, if they continue to sell off US dollar, we're going to be seeing a couple of these things sort of push on a little bit more. Cool. Well, anyway, this is just a test for the first one. Go back and do a review, and then yeah, might just end up sort of streaming these things daily instead of doing the videos and then sort of uploading. I do them all in one take anyway, so may as well just do it in real time. All right, cool.